Stephen A. Smith defends Shedeur Sanders for turning down the Ravens. He wanted to play, not be Lamar Jackson's backup. Shedeur Sanders made a surprising move during the 2025 NFL Draft. He reportedly told the Baltimore Ravens not to draft him with their fifth-round pick, number 141, declining the opportunity to back up star quarterback Lamar Jackson. Instead, he waited 3 more picks until the Cleveland Browns selected him at number 144. Some saw it as a bold act of self-belief. Others criticized it as miscalculated. Amid the debate, Stephen A. Smith has stepped in to defend the rookie quarterback's decision, arguing it was rooted in ambition, not merely ego. According to reports, Sanders and his camp believed that, in Baltimore, his path to meaningful playing time would be nearly blocked by Jackson's entrenched status. Sanders didn't want to carry the clipboard behind a 2-time MVP. Cleveland, though crowded, offered a clearer competition where he might actually earn reps. Smith says many people understand that communication with teams and choosing your landing spot is as strategic as talent in today's NFL. Shedeur Sanders made a surprising move during the 2025 NFL Draft. He reportedly told the Baltimore Ravens not to draft him with their fifth-round pick, number 141, declining the opportunity to back up star quarterback Lamar Jackson. Instead, he waited 3 more picks until the Cleveland Browns selected him at number 144. Some saw it as a bold act of self-belief. Others criticized it as miscalculated. Amid the debate, Stephen A. Smith has stepped in to defend the rookie quarterback's decision, arguing it was rooted in ambition, not merely ego. According to reports, Sanders and his camp believed that, in Baltimore, his path to meaningful playing time would be nearly blocked by Jackson's entrenched status. Sanders didn't want to carry the clipboard behind a 2-time MVP. Cleveland, though crowded, offered a clearer competition where he might actually earn reps. Smith says many people understand that communication with teams and choosing your landing spot is as strategic as talent in today's NFL. Defending ambition and opportunity. Lamar Jackson, he's a superstar, Smith said on First Take. When you take a job as a backup QB in Baltimore, you assume you're going to be holding the clipboard, but you're almost never going to play. He praised Shedeur for recognizing the stuck ceiling of being second fiddle and for selecting a situation where potential upside outweighs prestige. Smith sees this as a mature decision, one born from an understanding of team dynamics rather than mere preference. Critics like former QB Alex Smith have called the move short-sighted, pointing out Baltimore's QB room strength, its stability, and opportunities for mentorship under Jackson. Still, Smith argues that stability only matters if it yields playing time, and that in a league where quarterbacks develop by throwing in real games, a chance to take the field matters more than sitting behind a star. Sanders now enters a Browns roster behind Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel, with limited playing time expected, at least near term. But Smith believes the long view favors Sanders, a spot where he can compete, not merely wait. Whether this gamble pays off will depend on performance, opportunity, and patience. But in Smith's eyes, turning down Baltimore was not arrogance, it was calculated strategy. The sports world thrives on controversy, and no figure embraces that firestorm quite like ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. The man who has built an empire of hot takes, booming rants, and pointed analysis rarely holds back when the spotlight hits. So when the chatter surrounding Shedeur Sanders' decision to decline a potential future with the Baltimore Ravens began to swirl, Smith was quick to throw his weight behind the Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback. And in classic Stephen A. fashion, he made it crystal clear, Shedeur Sanders wasn't wrong. The decision that shook the draft. Heading into the 2025 NFL Draft, speculation around Shedeur Sanders' landing spot was one of the biggest storylines. The son of Deion Primetime Sanders had dazzled at Colorado, combining poise, leadership, and arm talent that had scouts buzzing. Cleveland ultimately took him, but not before reports surfaced that the Baltimore Ravens had shown strong interest. On paper, the move made sense. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens' franchise quarterback, is a former MVP but had battled injuries. Baltimore's front office was said to be exploring quarterback depth for the future, and Sanders seemed like a natural fit. But Shedeur wasn't interested. He wanted to play immediately, and that wasn't going to happen behind Jackson. The whispers grew into headlines. Sanders nixed Baltimore's draft advances, steering himself to Cleveland instead. The media backlash. Critics pounced. Some analysts called Shedeur entitled for trying to dictate his draft fate. Others argued that learning behind Lamar Jackson could have been invaluable. Social media was merciless, with skeptics insisting Sanders wasn't ready to start in the NFL anyway. That's when Stephen A. Smith stepped into the ring. On first take, Smith leaned forward, eyes locked on the camera, and delivered his trademark blend of passion and conviction. "Let me tell you something right now," he thundered. "This young brother Shedeur Sanders made the right call. Period. End of discussion." He didn't want to hold a clipboard. He didn't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson for 3, 4, 5 years. He wanted to play football. And isn't that what we say we want from these guys? Competitors. Dogs. Men who believe they can lead a franchise. Stephen A.'s case for Shedeur. Smith wasn't defending Sanders just for the sake of drama. His defense came with layered reasoning. 1. The timeline doesn't match. Lamar Jackson is still in his prime, Smith said. He ain't going nowhere. If Shedeur Sanders went to Baltimore, we wouldn't see him on the field until the next presidential election. That's not development, that's stagnation. Smith highlighted how many talented quarterbacks had their growth stunted by sitting too long behind entrenched stars. Sanders, he argued, was smart to recognize the mismatch. 2. Confidence isn't arrogance. Critics labeled Sanders' refusal as arrogance, but Smith reframed it as self-belief. This ain't about disrespecting Lamar Jackson. This is about Shedeur saying, "I'm ready. I believe in myself. I want the challenge." How do we knock a kid for wanting to compete? Smith asked. He pointed to other greats, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, even Cam Newton, who stepped in immediately and thrived under the pressure. 3. Cleveland was the better fit. Smith noted that the Browns, unlike the Ravens, actually needed quarterback clarity. With Joe Flacco fading and no true long-term solution on the roster, Cleveland represented opportunity. Cleveland needed Shedeur more than Baltimore ever could. It's not about the glamour. It's about fit. This is a franchise starving for a leader. That's what Shedeur saw, and that's why he made the call, Smith said. The larger debate, player power in the draft. Shedeur Sanders' move also reignited a larger debate. Should rookies have more say in where they land? Traditionally, the draft has operated as a system where teams hold all the power. But in recent years, players like Eli Manning and John Elway before him showed that sometimes saying no pays off. Smith argued Sanders belongs in that conversation. Listen, if you know a situation ain't right for you, why walk into it blindly? Smith said.